Hi everyone, it's Thursday. It's exactly 1 week till round one, first day of the NFL draft. So myself and Mark are going to do a very quick two-man, two-round rookie mock. I've got my list of rankings there, as you can see. I'm just going to flick a coin to see who goes first. As you can see, it's a head. Okay, it's a pound coin. It's worth about $1.30, but we're not interested in the value of the pound and the dollar. What we are interested in is these rookie picks and these rookies. Now, Mark called tails and he got it wrong, so that gives me the 101. With the 101, I'm picking the consensus 101 in all rookie mock drafts at the moment. Running back Breece Hall. Running back Breece Hall from Iowa State. Now, he absolutely smashed the combine, and there's no doubt at the moment, providing he doesn't get a horrible landing spot, he's going to be the 101 in 80-90% of rookie drafts coming up in May. So that's my pick with the 101, Breece Hall. 102, Marcus went for quarterback Malik Willis from Liberty. Now, I like the pick. I think Willis could go anything between 101, 103, maybe as far down as 104. But me personally, I'm taking him in my top three in every draft that I have. The lowest I'll be picking him is at 103. If I'm picking at 103 and Malik Willis is on the board, I'll be picking him. I can guarantee you that. 103, I've went running back again. I've went for Michigan Kenneth Walker. Now, he was my running back one before the combine, but with the performance that Hall did, I had to drop him to my running back two. At the moment, he's probably my 102, but it's very close. 104, Marcus went for the first wide receiver off the board, and he's took Drake London. Drake London, the wide receiver from USC, he's my wide receiver one, so it's a very, very good pick there, Mark. Again, it's just going to depend on landing spot where all these wide receivers go. Now, Mark's left me with a 105. We're flying through this. Mark's typing very quick to me. I've went with Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. Now, he had a brilliant season. He's in there with Olave and Jackson Smith-Njigba, and he is producing. He's probably the safest of the rookie wide receivers that are going to get first round draft capital. So if you're using a prime rookie pick this year, he's your safest option, in my opinion. A lot of the rest of them, while they've got massive high upside, they do come with some risks, and obviously the landing spot. Okay, Mark's obviously gone to sleep for a wee while, so I'll just wrap it away and we'll go through what we've got. We've got Breece Hall, Malik Willis, Kenneth Walker, Drake London and Garrett Wilson so far. I think that's quite a common top five at the moment, but let me know what you guys think. 106, this is a bit of an early surprise pick for me. 106, he'd went Chris Olave again from Ohio State. Now, I think Chris Olave is getting a lot of bad vibes. I think he's a far better receiver than the Dynasty community are giving him. And at 106, I'm quite happy to pick him at 106, to be honest with you. So I think that's a good pick. It might surprise some people, but I think it's a fairly safe pick as well. 107, I went for Alabama and... No, I've not. 107, sorry, I went for Arkansas and I went for Treylon Burks. Now, I took the value here. I must admit, I don't think I'm going to be getting many shares of Treylon Burks. He's the wide receiver one for a lot of the fantasy community, but I just think there's too many risks for me. I'm worried that he's going to be more Laviska Shenault than he is Deebo Samuel. So yeah, it's a popular pick, common pick early. To see him drop to 107 is a bit of a shock. If he falls to 107 in a rookie draft, I don't know if I'll be able to pass on him or not. So I've took him here with the 107. 108, Mark is flying in with these picks, and he's went for Alabama's wide receiver, Jamo Williams. Now again, speedster, flyer, slight doubt with the injury. But, as I've said before, the Ohio coaches put Olave and Wilson before him, so I'm happy to have Olave and Wilson before Williams. But again, another common popular pick at the 108. I don't think we can have any confusion with that. 109, again, for me, another wide receiver. And this time I went to Georgia's George Pickens. Now, we missed most of the 2021 season, but he showed during his early college career that he has got the ability. Indeed, if it wasn't for missing almost the entire season, there is possibility he could have been the wide receiver 1 this year. I don't think that's too much of a reach to say that. So that's just getting well through this first round. You'll see we've had 9 picks already so far. We've only had the 2 running backs and the quarterback, and we've had a run of 6 consecutive wide receivers. So I think that's something I've been preaching to you for quite a while. In this year's rookie class, once those top 2 running backs have gone, it's wide receiver all the way, guys. Wide receiver all the way. Obviously, there might be some change in that if one of these lower running backs gets a dream. I'll just give a funny look there at my phone. 110, 110, Christian Watson, the small school wide receiver who's absolutely blown everyone away at the Senior Bowl and the Combine. I think it's a good pick there. It doesn't surprise me because he's been going up and up and up draft boards. I don't know how much further he can go up. Personally, I don't think he's going to reach the top 9. So I've got a sort of tier break there along with the guys that I'm picking here. 111, I am going for another wide receiver, Kelsey Praise. This time I'm going to Jahan Dotson. I've got Jahan Dotson at the 111. Wide receiver from Penn State. All his film is just quality. He had a reasonable combine. So I'm quite happy with that. Again, it's going to be draft capital. I think he's going to get possibly late round 1, early round 2 draft capital. Getting him at the 111, I'm happy with that. So Mark's having a bit of a break over there, thankfully. It gives me a chance to catch up as we round off this end of the first round, picking at 112. Picking at 112, he's went for running back Isaiah Spiller. Now, early on through this process, Spiller was on the equation for perhaps the 101, 102, up there with Walker and Hall as the top 3 running backs. However, due to the combine, the pro day, the poor analytic profile, he's been sliding down draft boards. I've got no complaint with picking him at 112. Personally, I won't be. I'm totally out on him. You could give me him at the 206, and from everything I've seen, I'm going to reluctantly pass. But I can certainly see why he's going at 112, and it's probably a bit too far, to be honest with you, that he's fallen. Okay, so we're going into the second round, but before we do that, I'll just briefly go through. I'll just briefly make my pick. Briefly go through the first round with you. 101, we've got Breece Hall. 102, we've got Malik Willis. 103, we've got Kenneth Walker. 104, Drake London. 105, Garrett Wilson. 106, Chris Olave. 107, Treylon Burks. 108, Jamo Williams. 109, George Pickens. 110, Christian Watson. 111, Jahan Dotson. 112, Isaiah Spiller. Kicking off the second round, I went to the quarterback. If I'm picking at 201, I'm looking at a rebuild, so I'm quite happy to take Pittsburgh quarterback. Might even be the Pittsburgh quarterback, who knows? Kenny Pickett. Now, Mark's followed me up there, and he's went the quarterback position as well. And he's took Ole Miss quarterback Matt Corral with a 202. So that gives me a few options at 203. I'm looking at potentially Desmond Ridder or Sam Howell. Which one am I going to go? I think I'm going to chase the upside. A bit of a surprise, and I'm going to take Desmond Ridder with 203. Now, Cincinnati quarterback, before back in December, he was way down about number 22, 23 in my rankings. But he's another one. Smashed the pro day, smashed the combine. Tremendous rushing upside. If he can start somewhere and make it, his ceiling is practically as high as Malik Willis's, I think. There's a lot more doubts, a far bigger gamble, but the upside is there. 204, and we're going back to the wide receiver. The wide receiver is just absolutely loaded this year. Mark has went for Sky Moore, so we like that pick. In fact, I think that was right on my pick there, which leaves me at the 205. And am I going back to the quarterback? But no, I'm going to stick with wide receiver, and I'm going to take David Bell. So 205, David Bell, wide receiver from Purdue. Again, he's another one. He didn't produce well at the combine, but he didn't disappoint at the combine either. He just did what he is. He's not super fast. He's not super athletic. So with Bell, for me, it's just a matter of going by the film, going by the tape. If I had him at 202, 201 before the combine, the pro day, I was keeping him at 201. I was keeping him in that area, 201 to 205. So I'm happy with that. So again, guys, you'll see we're halfway through this second round. Still, the wide receiver position is very, very, very popular. We've only had the 3 round backs, and we're now up to 3 quarterbacks, 4 quarterbacks taken. So the quarterbacks are starting to come off the board at the start of the second. And indeed, midway through the second, and he's pulled a face here, so I don't think he likes this pick. But he's went for North Carolina quarterback Sam Howell. I don't think it's a bad pick at the middle of 206. You've got to be happy with that. You've got to be happy with that, Mark. 206 quarterback Sam Howell, which leaves me with a 207, and I am going to take the first tight end off the board, Trey McBride. Trey McBride, Colorado State tight end. Forgive me, I'm looking at my sheets here. Mark is just flying through these picks. It's not giving me time to look sometimes. So that's the first tight end off the board. It looks like he's going to get day 2 draft capital. Probably anything from mid to late second round to an early third round of the NFL draft. I'm picking him up with the 207. So I think I said in a previous video, if I'm selling a tight end, I'm looking to get a pick round about that area, 205, 206, 207, 208. I'm deliberately going to be targeting Trey McBride as my replacement. So let's just go through the first half of the second round. 201 we've got Kenny Pickett. 202 we've got Matt Corral. 203 we've got Desmond Ridder. 204 we've got Sky Moore. 205 David Bell. 206 Sam Howell. I went 207 Trey McBride. 208 Clemson wide receiver Justin Ross. I love this pick. It could be absolutely anything. But again, he's another one. Early part of his career, he would have easily been in contention for a top 5 wide receiver in this year's draft if it wasn't for the injury concerns. Now there's talk of him going in the 3rd round. So it's day 2 draft capital, or certainly early day 3. 209. And I finally went back to the running back position. Just our fourth running back off the board at the 209. And I went for Alabama's Brian Robinson. Again, he's nothing flashy, but he does what it says on the tin. He's a bruiser. He'll get you that 3-4 yards per carry. You've got 3rd and 2. He's going to get you that 2.5 yards. You might get a few goal line touches. Don't think he's going to get much in the passing game. But at the 209, I'm delighted to pick that up. 210, Mark flew back at me and he's went back to Alabama also. He's took the wide receiver John Mechie. Again, Mechie looked really good during the last couple of years at Alabama. Picking him up, anything from Alabama, you know you're going to get half decent quality anyway. So to pick up an Alabama wide receiver at the end of the 2nd round is quite a bargain. So that leaves me with 211, and I'm going to take a bit of a chance here, a bit of a gamble. My final pick of this rookie mock, and I went to the small school, Alabama school, Jalen Tolbert, another wide receiver. So I'll just let Mark finish this off. Jalen Tolbert, when you see him in film and you look at his numbers and you look at his athletic ability, and you just wonder why he was at a small school and not one of the bigger ones. If he can transform his game to the higher level, then I think he's quite potentially one of the best 4 or 5 wide receivers in this year's class. Finally, finish us off. Mark has went for Rachaad White, running back with the 212. Again, I think I've said many a time before, there's about half a dozen, even a dozen running backs that could easily climb to the early to mid-2nd round of your rookie drafts, depending on draft capital and landing spot. There really isn't much separating the RB4, RB5 to the RB12, RB13. So for me, this stage, it's too early to project them much earlier than this in mock drafts. Wide receiver all the way. So we'll just do a quick recap of the whole lot for you. We hope you enjoyed this quick little video. 101, Breece Hall. 102, Malik Willis. 103, Kenneth Walker. 104, Drake London. 105, Garrett Wilson. 106, Chris Olave. 107, Treylon Burks. 108, Jameson Williams. 109, George Pickens. 110, Christian Watson. 111, Jahan Dotson. 112, Isaiah Spiller. 201, Kenny Pickett. 202, Matt Corral. 203, Desmond Ridder. 204, Sky Moore. 205, David Bell. 206, Sam Howell. 207, Trey McBride. 208, Justin Ross. 209, Brian Robinson. 210, John Mechie. 211, Jalen Tolbert. And 212, Rachaad White. Hope you enjoyed that. We flew through them. It was very, very off the cuff. And let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's any big shocks in there for you. And now you've got a good idea of what myself and Mark are currently valuing that rookie picks. See you all soon.